Driver picks the music. Shotgun shuts his cake hole. Sam and Dean are two brothers with a shared career. Not a completely uncommon occurrence among siblings. What sets apart this dynamic duo is that their shared career is hunting down occult and supernatural entities. Angels, demons, and ghosts. Oh my. Join us as we unpack the pilot episode of the Supernatural series here on Effing It Up. Welcome back, Feral listeners. As you heard from our intro, we're here. We're talking about Supernatural. Very exciting, very big stuff. This will conclude the series within a series, the Super Hulock mini-series. How many times can I say series in this episode?
Series one more time.
Series!
How can I help? Whatever Siri says, I don't know. I don't use Siri.
You have a phone?
I have a phone. It doesn't work. I don't use it to talk to people.
You send carrier pigeons.
Yeah, it might be a brick.
Share your thoughts, Lorelle.
I just have no notes. This is the most sparse my notes have been this season.
That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. All right, I'll start this off. Can you tell me, did you watch Supernatural before you and I sat down and watched this pilot episode together?
Not really. I've definitely seen plenty of clips, and I definitely know a lot of the, just because it's part of the internet obsession. So I knew a lot of the characters' names. I knew people were mad about the ending. I knew a lot of random plot stuff, but I had never seen the first episode before.
Yeah.
At least I don't think so, but I did know certain things that were going to happen, which is weird that I knew that. So maybe I've seen the first episode before. If I have, I don't remember.
Oh, shocking.
I know.
That's shocking that you don't remember something.
Although I have watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. several times, and it still surprises me every time I watch it, so...
It's true. We've been rewatching it, and Lorelle will go, "Oh my word, I forgot about this."
Or, I fully didn't know that was going to happen at all.
I'm like, wow, it's like it's a brand new series for you.
Every single time I watch it.
Not your favorite show that you've watched through God knows how many times.
I've definitely known a lot about Supernatural just because everyone obsesses about it.
Yeah.
And I'm a part of the internet, and I use Instagram, so... And people like to post things from Tumblr on Instagram,
yes.
So... In that sense, I'm aware of Supernatural, probably more so than most other shows I haven't watched, but yeah. How about you?
I would say this kind of a similar experience for me. I watched, I think, the first 4 episodes of season 1 with my one friend, and then I was too scared, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. But also, as a child of the internet,
a child of the internet, exactly.
I also learned a lot about Supernatural just by existing on the internet in the late aughts. But yeah, this was my first time sitting down and watching through the whole thing in 10 years.
And what a fun time it was.
It was a fun time, but are we ready to talk about it now?
Let's talk about it.
Okay, starting out with plot, I kind of just want to talk about the absolutely horrific way that they opened the entire series.
They wanted you to know what you were in for.
Yeah, they really just went for it. You're enjoying, oh, what a sweet family, she's just putting her kids to bed, just vibing. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, waking up in the middle of the night, walking down the hallway and seeing what she thinks is her husband standing in her baby's bedroom, and then walking down the stairs to get a glass of water or what have you, whatever she was doing, and seeing her husband asleep on the couch. The music drops. There's the dun-dun, and then she runs back up the stairs, walks into the room. We see her reaction, and she goes, and then it cuts to the husband hearing, screaming, and then he starts bolting up the stairs and walks into his baby's room. It's just his baby lying there in the crib. You see little drops of blood falling onto the crib, and this man looks up. Homegirl, his wife, super glued to the ceiling, and then she bursts into flames, and then the devil blows up their house. It's
possibly
it's a wild way to open a TV series.
It is a wild way. I honestly cannot explain my reaction because I mostly just found it funny, but
and I also probably should have said this before I did the intro, but first and foremost, spoilers.
Well, that definitely covers the first scene. Do we discuss the plot of the episode at all, or
is there a plot?
There's like their dad goes missing, and Dean ropes Sam back into the monster hunting business, even though he doesn't want to. Even though he's super smart,
and he just wants to go to what, law school? I don't know.
The boring, yuppie lifestyle.
And Dean's like, you weren't made for this.
And Dean shows up and flirts with Sam's girlfriend in front of Sam, and Sam's just like, that's cool, and the girlfriend's like, that's cool because you're hot, so it's fine, and I don't mind that Sam's not defending me, and isn't like worried about me feeling uncomfortable or isn't feeling threatened. It's really cool that Dean is just being a jerk and flirting right in front of you and objectifying me. That's awesome. So that happens. And it didn't annoy me at all.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like it did. It's my favorite part of the episode, personally.
Yeah, right? Anytime that they put a woman in impractical pajamas and then objectify her is my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I think I said this while we were watching it, but again, all of the pajamas I own are very sexy, but...
and uncomfortable.
They're very comfortable, and they're not just a pair of, like, booty short underpants
with like a bow or whatever it was. I
don't want to think too hard about it, or a Smurfs crop top with like a cutout. I was like, I get the feeling that a man not only wrote this show but also was in charge of costuming.
Are you telling me there were men involved in the creation of this show? Color me shocked.
Yeah.
Wow.
All the costume designers, I checked specifically for the pilot episode. All the costume designers for the pilot episode were men.
No. Wow. I'm shocked.
All right. Look at the shock on my face.
If I could roll my eyes any further back in my head, I would be looking directly at my brainstem.
You mean an empty cavern?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes my eye gets me, and it's just my deep offense just erupts out of my throat.
You bullied me while I was making you dinner, so.
Well, that is not entirely accurate. I also bullied you after you finished making dinner. Let's jump to character, baby.
Jump into characters. Should we start with Sam?
Yeah, let's start with Sam.
I really just did Sam and Dean.
I just did Dean, so. I mean, to be honest, there aren't really any other characters.
No.
Everyone else is superfluous.
The most interesting other character right off the bat is the ghost woman.
Yeah.
The sexy ghost woman.
Sexy ghost woman who killed her kids. Slay Queen. It's like when they have a villain do something truly atrocious so that you don't side with them because you know deep down they're right.
They're right.
Honestly.
It's like why they have to throw incest into Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, I'll take your word for it.
Just a sprinkle, if you will.
Alright, give me your thoughts on Sam.
My thoughts on Sam were I was really just psychoanalyzing him the whole time. So I wrote classic mommy issues. His girlfriend looks like his mother.
Yeah.
I was like,
yikes.
Alarming.
Big yikes.
Freud would have had a field day with that. I just made a note because they made a joke that you and I both laughed at, which is sometimes a rarity.
Yeah.
So I made it. When I told Dad I was afraid of the thing in my closet, he gave me a 45.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And he was not saying that as a good thing, just to be clear.
No.
He was complaining.
He was complaining, which really is all
that's valid. Sam
actually does, I think.
Yeah.
In the majority of the series.
Yeah. If I relate to anyone, it's Sam. I too like to complain.
if your favorite part of the Star Wars prequels was Hayden Christensen's character, Anakin Skywalker, complaining with every breath in his body, you're gonna love Sam's character, at least in the pilot episode.
Yeah. I mean, we're really only judging them based on the pilot episodes. So.
Yes, that's the only thing we have to go off of. So really, this is the purest take we've ever done for this series, because we went in pretty blind.
I will say for Sam, like, they start the episode on him, right? After the whole, mommy blew up the house. Oops, honey, I blew up the kids.
Except I am the bomb.
Except I am the bomb.
The bomb is me.
I'm
and there
the
will be
bomb.
no survivors.
Mom, you the bomb. That they start the episode on him, and he's like super smart, but he's keeping it to himself that he's got such good grades because his family doesn't care and they don't get him. And like, they kind of set him up to be the one that you follow the episode through, but like his smartness does not really come into play at all.
No, not even a little bit. Yeah. It's more just like the woman's trying to seduce him.
Yeah, and she sexually assaults him.
Yes.
That's not explored at all, by the way.
Yeah, that he was sexually assaulted by
Sam acts like he gets sexually assaulted every day as part of his job, like... You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, do you work in the customer service industry?
Oh, man. Oh, ooh, that hurts. Oh, we both work in customer service.
It's not really funny, though, is it?
It's not really funny. That was a laugh of pain. Ew, a guy today winked at me twice.
Ew.
I was like, buddy, once was more than enough.
I was trying to unload deliveries, and a man made kissing noises out of his window. And I was like, men are only bold, though, when they're, like, driving in their cars.
Yeah, when they're protected by wheels and an engine.
And I'm like, say that to my face when I'm holding a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, say that to my mace.
Say that to my mace.
Either type.
Say that to...
the spray or the weapon.
Say that to the rage that majority of women carry inside their bodies at all times since the age of 13.
Literally, I was like, I'm flabbergasted. I would never wink at someone.
Yeah.
And to do it twice.
I would wink at you, but...
Yeah. I would wink at you, but then I would pluck my own eyeball out. I like that, actually. I was giving, like, 1920s TV, like, producer kind of, like,
like, hey, how you doing, doll? We're gonna make you a big star. Big star, I tell ya.
A big star. Yeah, that's fine. That was not the creepy wink that he gave me.
Ooh. He was barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, he was barking up the wrong tree. Buddy.
Don't do that. There's a bear living up there.
There's a bear and a bee's nest, a hornet's nest. Anyway, yeah, gross.
Gross.
Maybe Sam does work in customer service, and that's why he was just like, all right.
Yeah, thank you for remembering where we went from.
I know, right? We just went down our trauma, like, bunny trail.
We're like, oh, it sucks to be a woman. Anyway, Sam knows a little bit of what that's like now.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Sam.
But the
not
writers
and
directors of the show think it's sexy because it's a woman assaulting a man.
Yes.
So, way to invalidate sexual trauma and sexual abuse, guys.
Yeah.
Good job.
So
super
cool.
Awesome.
Wow.
So cool.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Gold star for you. Excellent work.
I like to think that this show is a favorite with a lot of people because it got better.
Yeah. Let's hang our hopes on that coat rack.
That coat rack that was hopefully built by women.
Started by men, but then abandoned because they're not good at, committing.
I know it.
Aren't I
well aware?
I think that somewhere between this being a film podcast, it also becomes like, what do they call those DJs who are really obnoxious?
Like,
what are they called? The really, like,
shock
jocks?
jocks?
Shock jocks, yeah. We're gonna become, like, somewhere between a film critique podcast and then, like, a misandrist shock jock show. Yeah. Where we just lambast any man.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. This is a bad time for us to maybe review Supernatural.
We're both
both not feeling it.
We're embracing our inner sexism today.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? The show did too, so we're just matching the show's vibe.
Yeah, we're matching
we're code matching.
We're matching the energy here,
yeah,
babes.
we're just matching the energy, so it's fine. It's fine if we're a little sexist.
Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Sam?
No.
Samuelson.
He's not really that interesting in episode 1.
No, he's really not. But that brings us to Dean. Are you ready for this?
Yes, let's talk about Dean.
Do you want me to read off my notes and then do you want to jump off of that?
Yes, that sounds perfect.
All I wrote at first was the cool beer drinking guy.
Oh my gosh.
I said, this is who Nick Dunn from Gone Girl thinks he is. He's the cool guy male fantasy. Of like, I'm super cool, I don't care, I listen to rock music, I drive a cool old car, I drink beer, I flirt with women, I'm American, I own
my
guns.
brother's girlfriend.
Yes, I thought
you were like, what?
I thought you were referring to one of your brother's girlfriends.
This sounds exactly like my brother's girlfriend. No, I meant Dean likes to flirt with women, especially the ones who are already dating his family members.
Exactly. And then I wrote in all capital letters, unlikable asshole.
That is exactly what I think.
Dear goodness. Guys, I hope that Dean gets better throughout the series, and that's why everyone loves this show so much, because I couldn't care less whether he lived or died in this pilot episode. What an awful man.
Mm-hmm. My gosh, right? He's so punchable. I wrote very unlikable.
Did you just write that now? Or
no, I was writing... I did write Dean Yuck right now, but that's... I just needed to get that out. He is so just hateable.
Yeah, he's...
Like, did they write him to be that way? Did they realize how he was coming across? Because, oh my gosh, he's just like... He's a jerk to Sam. He's a jerk to Sam's girlfriend. He's a jerk to everyone he meets.
Jerk to everyone he meets, like, including the ghost lady with trauma.
The ghost lady. He's a jerk to the police officers just trying to do their job.
Yep.
He completely invalidates Sam and his feelings.
Yep.
And tries to, like, manipulate him into helping him.
Yeah, into getting what he wants.
He's just like, every time he's on screen, I'm just like... Ugh.
Like, so in our last episode, we talked about... Sherlock Holmes, and like we both forgot how mean he was, and in all reality he's a total jerk.
He's a tool.
But he was written with enough characteristics to make him slightly sympathetic. Like, you see the glimpses of humanity, like John coming back to the apartment and Sherlock going, oh, it's great, best friend, we're gonna live here.
Friend.
Like,
I just watched episode 2, and Sherlock says, let's go hang out or whatever, and John's like, no, I have a date. And Sherlock's like, and John's like, that's when two people who, like, enjoy each other spend some time together and do something fun. And Sherlock's like, that's what I just suggested. And John's like, no, it isn't.
No, it's not.
And he's like, at least I hope not. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I think that is what Sherlock meant.
That's exactly what he meant.
But also, this is not what we're talking about, but Sherlock is even more of a jerk in episode 2 because he, like, fully uses Molly's crush on him to get what he wants, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is such a terrible person.
He is.
But to what you're saying, he does not think he's cool. He knows he's the outsider. He knows he's the weird one. He knows people don't like him.
Yeah, I think Dean was written originally to be, like... Oh my word, like, women want him. Men want to be him.
Yes, Dean thinks he's cool.
Yes.
And the TV world that he lives in reinforces that.
Yes.
It's not like there's this... It's not like he's one of those characters in a TV show where, like, he thinks he's awesome and he's all that, and then the world shows you that he's actually just a jerk.
Yes.
But the way that he's being written, the world is like, yeah, you are cool. All the women do want you.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
you
awesome.
are the male fantasy.
You are the male fantasy.
And this,
like,
and also this rant has nothing to do with Jensen Ackles, who is an angel of a man, and we love and appreciate him. Soldier Boy in The Boys is the more likable Jensen Ackles character between that
because
and
the world of the TV show isn't saying, hey, he's actually awesome for being like this. I assume.
Yes.
I haven't watched The Boys.
No, you never will.
I never will.
You never will.
I never will.
Yeah, what do you want to say about Dean? Cool guy, beer drinking Dean.
Oh my word, he just irritated me all the time. Here's why I just wrote Dean yuck, because this is what I wanted to say. Dean is gross and unlikable and punchable. Sam is just kind of meh, and like you said, he's a bit whiny.
Yep.
So he's not super likable. He's probably the most likable out of them, but still meh.
Yeah.
So separately, they're both really just not very fun. But their brother energy is great. They have great chemistry.
You're right.
So any scene where they're like doing their weird little fighting, it's fun.
Yes.
So separately, bleh, but together, it's entertaining.
It's a good vibe.
And it's a good vibe. That's like the only time I care about them is when they're fighting. And like we said, there aren't really any other characters.
No.
So we might zip through this episode, Maya.
Perfect.
Are you ready to move on to atmosphere? Ooh, sorry. Are you ready to move on to atmosphere?
I am ready to move on to atmosphere, Lorelle. Thank you for asking.
You're so welcome.
Would you like to talk about your thoughts first?
Oh wow, I actually did write some notes about
I'm
this.
so proud of
Hooray.
you.
I did think the lighting and the shadows was really fun, especially like in the beginning scene where it's in their house at nighttime. Really awesome, like the dramatic kind of horror movie aesthetic was really cool. And then there's a scene where like Sam thinks someone has broken into his house. Well, someone has broken into his house. Yeah. And they fight, and it's meant to be at night, so you can't see them. But you know how on TV you can always see them even when... Yes. You have to portray.
Ideally, unless it's Suicide Squad.
They portrayed...
Hopefully you can see.
They portrayed it in a really fun way, which was that they were silhouetted while they were fighting. So you could still see the fight, but you couldn't see the faces, which I thought was a really clever way of illustrating that it's dark, but still letting you know what was happening. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. That was a nice touch. Other than that, in terms of atmosphere, this is what I wrote. This is the most written by men thing I've watched in a long time. So those were my thoughts. The lighting and like shading, that was cool. Yeah. The writing itself, from the costume design to the character design to just the ghost story, like all of it, just very written by men. So,
well, I'll just follow up on that with one of my notes, which was, the sexism is rampant in this first episode.
So true.
And I said all of the women are just emotional fodder for furthering the plot of the first episode.
Absolutely, 100%.
Nary a single woman in the pilot episode has a character outside of being a damsel in distress or a villain.
A sexy villain.
It's really the whole Madonna whore complex in one episode. It's
literally
unreal.
It is unreal. Like, we were just talking, I don't remember which episode, about something having that 2000s TV vibe of, it was mostly men in the industry and they could kind of do whatever they wanted and there was no, like, input from female voices.
Criminal Minds.
That's what it was. Criminal Minds. This one was just even worse.
So much worse. And I really think that it got, picked up because it's a unique concept. Yeah. Like, it's a unique and interesting concept, is the idea of these two brothers. I also wrote, like, the Americana road trip in the creepiest parts of the United States is such a brilliant idea.
That's what sets it apart.
It's such a good concept.
Because a lot of, like, modern supernatural stories are very urban. Yes. This was a rural take on it, which I think is really cool.
So much more fun.
Yeah. It's something different. It's something fresh. Yeah. So that's cool.
The whole scene where he's like, Dad's been away for a couple of days, and he's like, so what? He disappears all the time, and then Dean goes, no, Dad's on a hunting trip, and he hasn't been back in a few days. And then all the emphasis, like, hits home. Like, there's just, it has good bones.
Yeah, it does have good bones, I guess. Yeah. I hate to give it any credit, honestly. It annoyed me enough that...
No, I agree.
But you're right. The concept is solid. Yeah. And the setting is cool. And it is kind of fun watching them, like, not be the cool, like, you know, how in so many TV shows it all takes place in a city and the vampires wear suits and everything's so modern. But this has this, like, country, dirt, Carhartt feel to it.
It's crusty.
It's crusty! It's crunchy, like you were saying.
We love a little crust and crunch here.
Yeah, crust and crunch. Just like toast.
Yes.
It's good toast, boys.
That's going to be, if we ever do merch, that's going to be one of our t-shirts.
I love it.
Crusty and crunchy. It's going to be a little piece of burnt toast. And then it's going to say, toast. Is how we like our TV.
Yes.
If you want merch, just, like, let us know. And let us know that you'd be willing to pay money for it. Anyway.
Each shirt costs $50.
In Atmosphere at one point, I just wrote, spooky, spooky, spooky.
It is spooky. I cannot explain why I found it so funny. I guess because the CG was kind of bad.
Yeah.
And, like, at this point in the TV world, we've all seen spooky, spooky, spooky before.
And this was
And
not the
somehow
best version
I
of
wasn't
spooky, spooky,
invested
spooky.
in the characters.
No.
Because they were all jerks. So I honestly just found all the spooky, spooky, spooky just made me laugh.
Yep. Like when she melted into a puddle.
I mean, I love bad CGI. That's my vibe.
I'm well aware that's your vibe.
But like,
I watched Space Chimps with you. I know you love bad CGI.
That's not bad CGI.
Carry on.
But yeah, I guess honestly I think it's mostly just that I didn't care about the characters, so I was sort of like, go on and be eaten by ghosts, then see if I care. This is entertaining,
Like you,
but not scary.
it's like, yeah. Oh no, don't die.
Oh no!
I hope nothing bad happens
Boy,
to you.
I sure hope the the cool ghost who gets rid of gross men doesn't, win.
And get rid of two
Get
more
rid of
gross
two
men.
more ghost men. I mean, Sam isn't, other than the fact that Sam's not terrible in the first episode. He's just kind of whiny, but Dean is gross.
I'm just saying, like, the part where the ghost is, like, on top of him, and he's like, you can't do anything to me. I'm faithful.
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
wow, you want an award, buddy?
I'm like,
This is written by men.
it was written by men. Anyway, do we want to talk about other?
Sure.
I wasn't expecting this episode to bum us out that much, but
I know, right? I know, I wasn't either.
all I wrote for other was the rock music is very fun and cool demon hunter car.
Yeah, it was a cool car. I didn't actually write any notes in other. I'm so sorry. I wasn't doing my due diligence this time.
No, it's okay. I think it's kind of a reflection of...
It was kind of weird because I watched the episode and I had fun.
Yes.
Like, this is not to say it's not a fun first episode, because it is.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just didn't inspire me.
No, I came away going, I think this show could have been so much better. But again, it's hard to say because I haven't watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
But going off of the pilot episode, my thought was this show and concept could be so much better.
The greatest strength is the chemistry between the two main leads, and that's a good strength to
Yeah.
have, because that's what you build your show's longevity on. If you don't have good
Right.
chemistry between the leads, what are you trying to tell me, Maya? If you don't have good chemistry between your leads, you're not going to have legs.
Yeah.
The show won't last, but...
But we have great chemistry, so we have legs for days.
Yeah, stop! I'm chopping mine off immediately. No more legs. Yeah, I don't know. I usually like to pick out stuff that, like, sparked my curiosity about, like, where it's going, or, like, certain choices that they made that I thought were really cool, or just unusual, but I just didn't really have much that stood out to me.
Yeah.
Like, the story also isn't, like, the actual mystery of the episode is so, like, generic in a way.
Generic, blasé,
Yeah.
uninteresting.
You don't really discover anything about the ghost that you didn't know from the get-go.
No.
I guess it was supposed to be a reveal that she can't return home because her kids are going to kill her if she goes there. Which also, how do ghosts kill ghosts? But anyway, that's a whole other thing.
It's a whole nother can of worms.
But that's not really a reveal. Like, all it does is tell us that her kids are upset that she killed her. Wow, what a surprise!
Shocking.
Shocking! For what a first episode needs to do, it didn't do as much as some of the other ones we've talked about.
Yeah.
Sometimes we watch a pilot and I'm like, how did they do all of that and still make it feel seamless?
Yes.
This one didn't do all that.
This one...
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's really not bad, and I get why people like it.
Yeah.
And, like, continued watching.
But that brings us to the ultimate question of, does this pilot pass or fail? We're doing the thumb. Everybody, thumbs up or thumbs down?
3,
2, 1.
Actually, I'm giving it a begrudging pass. It's really sexist, but it did ask some interesting questions about their childhood. Like, who was the person in the room?
Yes.
What did he want? What happened in that room?
Yeah.
I didn't really care about where their dad is or why he's missing.
Yeah.
But I was intrigued by the childhood mystery.
Yeah.
So I give it a pass for that, pretty much. And the chemistry between the brothers.
I had to give it a fail, and this was more on a personal level, which is kind of how I've been grading a lot of them. Do I have any desire to watch the second episode based on this first one? And even though I know I have watched past it, rewatching it this time, I'm like, I have no desire to watch.
That's kind of how I felt. I was like, I
don't really more of this show.
And how else do you judge a pilot?
Yeah.
The only reason I would keep watching is for the brothers' chemistry. And because of, like, the childhood mystery. And
alternatively,
past.
the hope that it will get better.
That maybe some woman will Irene Adler Dean and, like, show him that women also have brains and feelings and are individuals.
Yeah, but not the BBC Irene Adler.
Oh, don't even get me started!
Yeah, I won't.
I haven't listened to our BBC Sherlock episode yet, but I'm pretty sure I ranted about Irene Adler.
You did. I might have had to cut it out because it went on too long.
That's fair. That's valid. I'm pretty sure I ranted a long time about that. I never remember what we talk about, but I did kind of feel like I probably talked about it.
You probably talked about that.
Because it irritated me so much.
I mean, fair. Fair enough.
I hope you just, like, edited in a piece of me going, Irene Adler! And then just, like, continued.
I'll put it on the Instagram. If enough people ask, I'll put it on the Instagram.
No one's going to ask. No one cares about Irene Adler.
You do.
I care deeply about Irene Adler. Okay, this is not our Sherlock episode, so I know you're going to cut this out, but every single modern adaptation of Irene Adler makes her a romantic interest for Sherlock, and that is not cool!
Yes.
It's like Sherlock won't respect a woman unless he's romantically interested in her. That is not the message, guys. Yep. Do better. I'm irritated all over again.
So I should not have brought her up. I'm very sorry.
My neck is itchy now. I'm getting hot under the collar. Anyway.
Anyway. On that note, guys, this is a shorter episode, but we did not have
not as short as Dean.
We did not have a ton of things to say about this one, really good or otherwise. And remember, just because we say we didn't like an episode or we gave it a pass, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and check it out for yourself. Like, we still generally, unless it's the most ungodly creation we've ever seen in our lives, we still generally recommend that people just go and check these episodes out for themselves, because at the very least, this is a important piece of Tumblr history. Mm-hmm. And,
part of the archaeological record.
Yeah, part of the Super Hulak archaeological record. And if anything, that's...
If you want to understand millennials a little better, consider it like your sociological research.
Yeah.
Anthropology.
Yes. Be a little anthropologist and go back and watch the pilot episode of any of the Doctor Who seasons, the pilot episode of BBC Sherlock, and the pilot episode of Supernatural. Mm-hmm. That I will recommend in good conscience, because you will learn a lot about yourself and about the people around you.
So true.
And anyway, as always, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for spending some quality TV time with us. And Lorelle, 3, 2, 1... Keep it feral!
Yeah, look at us.
That's what I'm talking about.
Finally, that's the first time we've been in unison ever.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Effing It Up. If you're enjoying these episodes, please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at _effingitup_ or on our YouTube channel, where we post the video format of our show. If you have content that you want us to cover, we want to hear about it. Feel free to DM us on Instagram or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. Thank you again.